Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Today we are talking about intentional gratitude, the art of gratitude. Man, I am thankful for that tree in all the ways that it helps me breathe better. One of the things I struggle with in the winter is the fact that everything turns brown. So I'm super thankful for all the green that I'm able to see this morning. I wanted to do this by the beach, but the signal is really choppy. I'm going to try to find an area on the beach that gives me a much better signal. But we're going to head on to the van because I know that there's going to be little children's here playing in a bit. And we're going to talk about the art of gratitude. Hello, Blue. All right. You got a close-up look at my cheek there. All right. How are you, Miss Jen? How was your holiday? How was your turkey day? We're going to see if anybody else joins us. Might just be me and you today. I had a pretty quiet turkey day. Didn't do a lot. Worked a little bit. Rested a lot. Got some self-care in. But it was definitely enjoyable. Definitely enjoyable. Let's see. We'll wait a little bit longer, see if anybody else joins us. If not, we're going to get into it. Yes, it is sunny, and I want to say it's maybe 60 degrees this morning. It gets pretty cool in the evening. It's down in like the 50s, higher 40s, and then it pops back up pretty quickly. So, yeah, I saw that on the my weather app on my phone that it was a little bit chilly there. So, warm, sunny hugs to you. 27. Yeah, I'll take the 60 degrees anytime over 27. All right, let's get busy. Looks like it's me and you for the moment. We'll see if anybody else jumps on. But we're talking about the art of gratitude and the importance of gratitude. Gratitude has a lot of scientific backing, and that it does things to our brain. It really helps with the connections to our neurons. It helps with the release of dopamine and serotonin. And of course, we know that that is going to help with overall mental health and wellness and just improve your quality of life. So one of the most important things is to be able to distinguish between random gratitude and intentional gratitude. So an example of random gratitude would be you're on the highway driving and you see a car accident and you say, oh, wow, I'm so grateful that wasn't me. And then you just keep driving. Now, not to say that that's something you should stop or that's not helpful. Absolutely. Count your blessings. Yes. That could have been you in that car accident. It wasn't. Absolutely have gratitude. But the difference is that with that being random is that you don't get the benefits of an intentional, consistent practice of gratitude. So intentional gratitude would be something like you're driving and you see that there's an accident and you oh, I'm thankful that that wasn't me. I'm thankful that I can see that people are still walking around and it seems like people might be okay. I'm thankful that I'm able to keep driving by. I'm thankful I'm able to get to my destination. That would be the intentional gratitude in that particular situation. And that's going to do some work in your brain over time with that consistency. And that's what we want, is that consistency in the gratitude practice, because it's a skill set and it's not something that comes overnight. Being able to take something that is not ideal and be able to reframe it and look at it in a different perspective, and be able to do that on command. That is a very developed skill set. And the only way that you're able to develop that is through practicing on a daily basis, practicing minute by minute, really, is being able to look at what's going on in your world, in your immediate surroundings, in your life, and be able to express and feel gratitude for the situation. Gratitude is also a narrative tool, because it helps to promote objectiveness as you go through life, and that it's not necessarily that things happen to me as me being a victim, or that I'm unlucky, but we'll be able to look at life as being just what it is, and it's a journey. And that we have experiences and we have lessons and we have moments that are not explainable. And the best way to deal with them, if they're not ideal, is to be able to switch them around and reframe them and look at them from another perspective of the glass is half full versus half empty. It's that helps to learn life lessons. So if you're able to take the day by day, little minuscule mundane things and be grateful for them, like being able to wake up and say, man, I am so grateful I have socks. And you would think that's such a small thing, that, man, everybody's got socks. But the reality is that there are a lot of people who don't have those basic necessities like socks. So if you're able to express and have consistent gratitude for the small, itty-bitty, mundane things of life, then when you get to those bigger moments in life that are extremely challenging, that are extremely challenging, then it's not about melting and falling to pieces and losing your shit and not being able to manage it, because you've been practicing this art of appreciating and having gratitude for the little things, the mundane things in life. And now I'm taking that skill set and I'm able to apply it to a bigger life event. Again, it's about practice. Gratitude also minimizes the concept of being a victim, which I kind of touched on, is that it builds resilience and you're able to see life for what it is, and it is part of the journey. And there's going to be crappy things that happen. There's going to be things that happen that are not ideal. There's going to be things that happen that are hurtful, that cause you anger. And if you're able to de-escalate your own emotions and be objective and see that this is part of life's journey and not be a victim, then it just builds your resilience, your ability to bounce back, to pop back from those life events that are catastrophes, that are life-changing, that are pivotal moments. And it doesn't mean that we don't look at it for what it is. We absolutely do. But we're going to practice being able to understand that I am not a victim, that this is just part of life's journey. And that happens when you begin to practice that intentional gratitude on a consistent basis. So, benefits of a regular gratitude practice: improve physical health, psychological health. It actually helps to enhance your empathy and your ability to de-escalate yourself. You're not going to feel as aggressive. It enhances your self-esteem, increases your mental strength and ability. So it is very important to understand what are the benefits. Kind of like when we go and work out, we know the benefits of working our physical body out. We know that if I do this, that these are the positive things that are going to happen. So gratitude is to the brain and the mental spirit what physical workout and cardio is to the body, because it is really about developing and molding that spiritual component that is going to be essential in maintaining a high quality of life and an overall feeling of well-being and feeling good. So the benefits, super important. Another thing to remember is to just start simple. It doesn't have to be a major practice. It can be very internal, very in your mind. It does not have to necessarily be something that other people see or that you express all the time. I do like on social media that there are people that do like the 30-day challenge, the gratitude challenges. And I think that's wonderful. I think that brings awareness. I think it helps people tune in of like, okay, am I practicing gratitude? But we also don't want to get in the habit of that I have gratitude and I need to be acknowledged and validated for that. We don't want to get into that place either, because then it really defeats the point of what you're trying to accomplish with your own personal gratitude practice. So starting simple, journaling is a great way to begin that journey. And you're able to like circle back at any time and look at what you've been grateful for and look how life has grown and evolved and changed and matured for you. So journaling is a really awesome way to do that. And whether you do that digitally or with pen or paper, it doesn't matter, whatever works for you. But journaling is a great tool. So now here's some just real simple prompts. I'm grateful for 3 things I hear. Again, I think as able-bodied folks, ableism is very real. And we do take our hearing and our sight and our sense of smell for granted. Even with the coronavirus, there are people that their only symptom is losing their sense of taste and smell. And some people are reporting that it's taking a really long time to gain those back. So losing that ability to taste good foods, smell, there's nothing better than like walking into the kitchen and it's the smell of like pie cooking. That's just an awesome smell. And it's important to be able to look at those and be able to acknowledge those little things. So I'm grateful for 3 things I hear, I see, I smell, I touch, I feel. Start with the senses, because then you never have to worry about finding a prompt or finding something to journal about, because you have your senses, hopefully all 5 senses, to where you're able to do that. And then you can begin to launch off into, I'm grateful for 3 things that happened today. I'm grateful for the 3 goals I set, or whatever you want to do. I'm actually working on a journal set that I will have available at the first of the year. It's going to be my big brain dump, and it'll be a core journal, and then there will be some add-on journal supplements to that. And one of the components is gratitude and being able to practice that on a daily basis. So start simple, start small with journaling. Another fun way is a gratitude jar or box. You can take a jar, you can take a box, you can decorate it. One of the really fun ways to do this with your family is that everybody maybe gets a different color piece of paper or different sticky notes, or maybe you all use the same paper and you go through the gratitude and you try to figure out who wrote that down. But being able to have that bar or that jocks, the jar or the box. I think there's a name for that kind of speaking, where you take the first syllable and apply it to a different word. I don't know, but the jar or the box. And that can be something you can come back to like once a month or once a week, and you're able to review what's inside of there and be able to, I know, I'm silly this morning, and be able to go through the gratitude and be able to really appreciate the wonderful things that have been happening in spite of the other things that are going on in the world. Because right now, it would be so easy for all of us to just collapse and crumble to the ground with frustration, with feeling of defeat, with feelings of being scared, with being angry at just world events, and just be done and just be ready to mentally check out. But of course, that's not an option, especially when you've got little people you take care of, or maybe you're taking care of your parents, or whatever your situation is. We don't have the option of just like mentally checking out because we don't want to deal. So being able to have a practice that's going to spiritually help you grow and be sustainable within our current culture is super important. A gratitude walk, kind of like how we started the video, where you are walking and you are intentionally looking and finding things to be grateful for. I watch my grandson likes to watch the Bee Movie a lot. And of course, those of us that have kids know that when you've got a child that has kind of latched onto one movie, you'll watch it multiple times, over and over and over again. And so we have seen the Bee Movie several times, and I catch bits and pieces of different lines. But the gist of it is that you've got a bee that fought for the honey to not be distributed around the world. And he won in court. So, of course, this is a little fantasy cartoon. But the lesson is that the bees had to understand that we needed their pollen to keep everything green and lush and to grow our fruits and our vegetables. And so even as you're walking, as you're doing this gratitude walk, being able to see the birds, and I'm thankful for the birds because the birds help keep the insect population under control. I'm thankful for the green trees and the trees that take in our carbon dioxide and release oxygen and help me breathe better. I'm thankful for the shade that the tree provides. I'm thankful for the fruit that the tree might provide. And just really being mindful as you're walking about what you have gratitude for in nature. And that can be incredibly rewarding and very, very beneficial as you are not only doing a walk and being mindful, but on top of that, you are practicing your gratitude. So you got a 3-for-1 there with just that simple act of walking, is to really pay attention to what's in your environment and have intentional gratitude for those things. Even if it's bees and wasps that, we all don't really particularly want to go head to head with, but you know what? We need them in our ecosystem. And if we don't have them, we're going to definitely feel that, kind of like in the Bee Movie where things didn't get pollinated. So, gratitude walks. Super easy. Nobody even knows you're doing it. All right, gratitude reflection. So this can be something as simple as, choose a part on your body and let's have reflection on why we are grateful for that, So I'm going to choose my eyes. I am super grateful for my eyes. I'm grateful for my eyes because they help me drive and they help me see. I'm grateful for my eyes because they help me see the beauty in the world. I'm grateful for my eyes because I'm able to look into the eyes of other people and see their spirit and their soul. I am grateful for my eyes because I'm able to enjoy good movies. I'm grateful for my eyes because I can see my friends. I'm grateful for my eyes because I can see my grandson growing up and I can see his smile and I can see the spirit in his world. So that's another really easy way to be able to express gratitude, is to just reflect, even if it's just a part of your body. Think about your elbow. I'm grateful for my elbows because they help me to get out of bed and push up. I'm grateful for my elbows because they help me drive. I'm helpful for my elbows because they help me brush my teeth. I mean, you could just go on and on and on, but really being able to look at and reflect on gratitude is super important. But again, it's a practice. It's something that you have to be able to do consistently and mindfully. Excuse me. I am grateful for being able to get a drink of water. I've been struggling with a sinus infection, and although it is green and sunny and beautiful in California, it's dry. And my sinuses are like, hey, I need you to get it together and get some moisture going. So I have started my regimen of being able to take better care of my sinuses. I'm grateful for my sinuses, even with them being inflamed, that reminds me to do self-care. So see how I take the fact of, the pain in the butt of having sinuses that are inflamed and pissed off, being able to say, I'm grateful because that reminds me to take care of myself and to be more consistent with that self-care. So being able to take any situation and reframe it and find gratitude in it is a skill set. And trust and believe, it's not something that I've always done. It's something I've had to practice and I've had to learn how to do. So tips for creating a gratitude practice. First of all, you have to recognize the need and then commit to the process. That would be like any other practice that you are going to have. Just like if you decide, you know what, I'm going to lose 20 pounds and I'm going to get some muscle mass. You have to commit to the process. You have to commit to what you're doing. And you have to be able to recognize that you need to do this. Gratitude is very much something that feeds our spirit and feeds our soul. And in my opinion, there's no better reason than that, is that I'm good grief, my English today. I'm creating my own language. Yes. The need to feed your spirit, and that food is gratitude. Gratitude is what's going to feed your spirit. So, recognizing the need and committing to the practice. Set aside intentional time. And you know what? This is something I just truly, truly believe in, is being intentional with your time and your energy and being able to spend it like currency on the things and the people that bring you joy. So, carve out intentional time. Maybe you make a part of your morning routine. Maybe make a part of your nighttime routine. Maybe it's a part of both of those routines. But being very intentional about carving out time and being able to have your gratitude practice, whether it's writing things down and putting them in the jar, or being able to journal, or being able to reflect on something in your environment. Take the time, carve the time out to be able to do that. Make sure you have a dedicated journal of some kind. And the reason for that is you're able to go back and reflect. Even if we do the gratitude in our brain, as human beings, we can only retain so much information in our brain. So if you have a dedicated way of journaling about your gratitude, and again, whether it's pen and paper, this is my command center. I think I said that last week. That's my command center. So whether it's pen and paper or whether it's digital, there's tons of apps that are out there. You want to be able to have some way to record and be able to reflect back on your gratitude. It's part of the process. It's kind of like when you work out and you look in the mirror. Imagine if you worked out and you couldn't visually see that there was weight loss or that you were sculpting and building muscle. One might get a little frustrated, like, I can't tell if I'm meeting my goals. I can't tell if I'm losing weight. I mean, you might be able to tell by the way your clothes fit, but as human beings, we're incredibly visual. So the journal is the way to feed that visual need and be able to see, literally see, but also be able to reflect on your progress and reflect on your practice and be able to have those moments. You might be having a really crappy day and being able to go back to your journal and reread some of the things that you're grateful for. It's like a jump start to your brain. It's kind of like if your battery dies in your car and you put the jumper cables on and you crank the other engine and it sparks and you get energy to the other car. It's kind of the same concept. Is, if you're having a really crappy day and you're like, you know what, I just have got to have something that's going to really feed my spirit, you can go back to your journal and you can look at and revisit some of those things that you had gratitude for. And it's a jump start and it feels good. I promise you. There's times I need to do that for myself. So make sure you've got some kind of digital or a paper journal that you can reflect back on. Create or have a conversation and have like a gratitude buddy where you kind of hold each other accountable for maintaining your practice, kind of like a workout buddy. Is someone that's going to, hey, did you get your gratitude done today? Or, hey, let's compare and let's talk about, not necessarily compare, that's the wrong word, but let's have a discussion about our gratitude today so that we can share that experience with each other. Have a buddy, somebody that is going to be a safe space for you to be able to talk to, and someone that's non-judgmental. That's very important. Safe and non-judgmental, to be able to share and hold each other accountable for the gratitude practice that you are working on. The next tip is to be able to reflect and notice. And this goes back to being able to have that journal that you're able to go back to and reread and reflect and be able to think in your head, you know what, this is the growth I have had. These are the things that have changed. These are the things that are the same. And be able to identify the emotions that are attached to it and be able to sit with those emotions. And that's great towards building your emotional intelligence, is to be able to reflect and notice the emotions that are going along with your gratitude and the events that have happened in your life. So again, you've kind of got a 2-for-1. I'm practicing my gratitude, but I'm also building my emotional intelligence because I am allowing myself to feel the emotions that are attached to the gratitude. And even though we have gratitude, that doesn't always mean that there's going to be happy, feel-good emotions attached to it. So the car accident example that I gave you at the very beginning is, you know what? I'm grateful that I'm safe, but that kind of makes me remember that, I had a family member that was killed in a car accident. And so there might be some sadness attached to the gratitude, but that's okay. Just notice it, allow it to come through you and go through you, and journal about it. And then you don't have to hold on to that. You've let it go through that journal. So building that emotional intelligence is a nice byproduct of your gratitude practice. It's really important as you are in your gratitude practice that you are able to give back some kind of way, whether that's in person, whether that's to planet Earth, that's to animals, whatever it is, being able to give back and volunteer also really speeds your, I don't know what's up with my speech today. It feeds your spirituality, being able to give, because you take that focus off of you and you're putting it on to someone else or to another creature or to a cause or to a belief. And that's important. That's important because when you get out of your mind and you focus on other things that you're giving to, it's just productive, and we're not able to just kind of like roll around in self-pity or negative emotions that are going to continue to inspire other negative emotions. I think that's right now a lot of people are trying to figure out in the midst of everything, like how can I like internally feel good? How can I get my spirit to feel good through so many hundreds of thousands of deaths, so many people being ill, hearing story after story. I think I read something a couple of days ago of where a couple that had been married almost 50 years, both got COVID, were hospitalized at the same time, and they died on the same day. It's like, how do you digest that? But the way that you digest it is having this bank of gratitude energy that is able to offset some of those sad things that we hear about. Think of gratitude as like this bank that you're paying into. It's an investment. So every time that you are building your gratitude, you're like making an investment into your gratitude bank. And so when you have really crappy, shitty things that happen, your spirit doesn't take such a hit because you have been banking away those feelings that supply and feed your spirituality. And that's why gratitude is such a good thing for our mental health. Is it builds that resilience, and it also is that bank of feel goods that we can tap into when we need to. All right. Last tip is say thank you for everything. There's a couple of affirmation videos that I listen to on YouTube that are about 10 or 15 minutes long, and it literally takes you through the gratitude of everything. You know, thank you for my spoon and fork. Thank you for the sun that's shining down. Thank you for the curtains I have. I mean, and it can feel a little ridiculous at first, like, really? But when you are promoting and really nurturing the concept of being thankful and having gratitude and practicing that on a daily basis, it now is something that you do without thinking. And I don't know about you, but when I hold the door open for someone and someone says thank you, I like that. I enjoy that. And being able to have that really brief connection with someone, oh, you're welcome, no problem. To me, that's very spiritually feeding, and it's definitely something that is regional because in California, they're not always so gracious, and they need some gratitude for sure. But I'm not going to change who I am. I still hold doors open, say thank you, but say thank you for everything. And again, that can be something that you do in your privacy of your own home, in your car as you're driving, before you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning. You know, think about it. Like, I'm thankful for running water. I'm thankful for electricity. I'm thankful for a roof over my head. And let me tell you, nothing has hit home to me more than having shelter of some kind. Being in a state where there are so many thousands of people that are homeless. I mean, thousands of people that are homeless. And being able to say, you know what, my situation might not be ideal. It might not be exactly what I want it to be. But guess what? I have shelter. I'm thankful for my food. I'm thankful for my ability to heat my van. I'm thankful for my ability to have running water in my van. I'm thankful for having power in my van. I'm thankful that, you know what, I am not on the ground at night sleeping like some people do in their sleeping bags. So just being really able to extend and have that appreciation and gratitude for every single thing just promotes this glow of serenity and peace inside of you. The more that you do it, the more that it's there. Again, it's all about practice. Practice, practice, practice. So some resources that I enjoy, there are a couple of podcasts. One, Personality Hacker has a podcast on, they have a particular episode on gratitude, and it talks about gratitude as a skill. That is a really great one. Brene Brown has an interview on gratitude and the art of gratitude. There are a couple of other podcasts on Spotify that speak to gratitude. Tons of TED Talks on gratitude. I mean, if you want to learn about it and that's what you want to feed your brain with, there are definitely resources. Also websites like Tiny Buddha, I think it's called Very Well. Of course, the other ones are escaping me, but there's tons of them out there, and being able to find them and utilize them. I think Tiny Buddha is great. It has tons and tons of articles. Daily Om is another one that has they have lessons and education and teaching that they offer, and it's not at a particular price. It's on a donation base, which I think is super awesome. And hey, Ian. And you can get those as you want them, and I think they're always available to you. But I know that they have them on Daily Om, so that's a great resource. Apps. There's a ton of apps that you can utilize to keep your gratitude. That's that digital journal. There's also Note Keeper where you can write things down. Of course, all of the phones and tablets that have the ability to have a pen or a stylus of some kind that you can write with makes it so much easier, like, having a sticky note or something that you're able to just write down that gratitude right then and there and be able maybe to come back to it within your practice. But utilize those apps, those websites, those podcasts to help you build your practice and to also help you nurture it and teach others. I think there's no greater gift than, as parents, being able to teach our kids to see to see our world as a glass that is half full versus being half empty. Teach that to our kids. Share that with maybe people we mentor. Being able to project that in our circle of our people. That's where the change happens, is on a very small micro level, and then it eventually will bleed out into a very macro level and a very community-based level. But it starts with us first. So, looks we got a couple people online. Any questions or any thoughts? What do you do for your gratitude practice? Any tips you want to share or things that you have found work for you? I'm going to shut up now for a second. Any tips or tricks that work for you? What do you do for your gratitude practice? I've been working on this therapy journal. I'm so excited to get it done and be able to have that available for folks that really want to be able to journal more but feel like they're lost in like what that looks like. And so it's kind of a starting place. A lot of people are very intimidated by journaling and being able to record feelings and thoughts. So I'm excited to be able to have this available for folks that are in that space. Well, okay, no thoughts or comments. There we go. So Jen says, I hate rereading my journal. Do you think it's beneficial to have a separate journal just for gratitude to look back on? If you feel comfortable in sharing, first of all, why do you hate rereading your journal? But being able to think about is if you're struggling with rereading your journal, that means something is going on internally. That's probably a topic in and of itself that we could jump into. But I would say that's a good plan of action, is that if you are struggling with going back and rereading your journal and reflecting, then maybe having a separate space to journal your gratitude is important for sure. So that might be something that's your own notebook. You could have like a family notebook that's for gratitude if you're trying to have that as a family event. Having it on your phone. So Jen says, I use it to sort of dump negativity and move on, and going back over it can put me back in a negative place. Okay. So I would say being able to... It's important to be able, when you go back and reread your journal, that we're not allowing those negative emotions that were there at that time come back into us, but being able to reflect, have I grown from that space? Have I learned from that space? What am I doing differently? What am I doing the same? Do I still feel that way? And I would say that's important, but that's something that maybe you do a little bit at a time so you can practice that skill. That's a skill. And so if you're avoiding going back and looking at your journals, it's great that you're journaling, but you're missing out on part of the experience, and that's being able to go back and reflect on what you were feeling and thinking and doing at that time in comparison to now. Because that's how we are able to gauge, did I grow? Did I learn? What did I do with that information? So if that's kind of what's happening, is that you're struggling with that skill set of being able to reflect back on that journal, then I would say definitely, have a separate gratitude journal that allows you to have the warm and fuzzies and in that space, so that if you are struggling with negative emotions, that you have a place that you can go to that will help promote and encourage you to utilize the skill set of gratitude and reframing the way that things look. Did that answer your question? And you can make sure and, try and include your gratitude practice as part of like a morning or evening routine. And so, maybe you do your brain dump at night to help you sleep, but then you wake up and you do your gratitude practice to kind of set the stage for the day and allow that to be there so that you're having all those feel good and those feelings of thankfulness immediately in the morning to kind of get you started. And it's kind of like someone that gets up and stretches or does yoga, that really sets their tone a day for being more positive. So Jen says, maybe working on my gratitude practice can help with combating the negativity eventually. Absolutely. If you are practicing gratitude on a consistent daily basis, I promise you're going to begin to see the balance change. And then eventually merge the two. Absolutely. I mean, we have to be able to take the practice of gratitude and life's journey and be able to mesh them together, because that's where the life lessons come in. That's where we learn. That's where we evolve. And when you figure it all out, you let me know, because I haven't. But I feel like I have a good grasp at the moment, but I definitely don't have it all figured out. I think yesterday or day before, I was asking myself the existential question of like, what is the purpose of all of this? And that's such a broad, huge question. And I was like, okay, I'm about to go down a negative rabbit hole, because that would be super easy to do right now. And I had to begin to look at what I was grateful for. So she said, I actually did wake up and do yoga, and the instructor I love makes a point of appreciating each part of your body as you use it. Makes for such a good start to the day. Absolutely. And yeah, we just have to keep working on it. I think that is wonderful, because it's so easy to get caught into a place of negativity. And again, that's part of the brain's defense mechanism. That's a part of the way that the brain keeps us out of danger, is we have to look at things that are negative or can be perceived as danger. So what a wonderful practice to be able to appreciate, even though, like I still have a belly, and that belly is because I didn't take care of myself very well when I was younger. But you know what? I have to be able to show gratitude. I have appreciation that, first of all, I have learned to eat and take care of myself in a healthy way. I am thankful that I'm able to digest my food and I'm able to eliminate the way that I'm supposed to. I'm grateful that, I'm grateful that it's not something that I'm particularly worried about. Like, I've accepted it. I've come at peace with it. I'm grateful that I have the self-care and I utilize the self-care. So I think that's a great practice for that yoga teacher, is to be able to go through each part of your body and be able to express gratitude for it. And that could be part of, that's a great part of your practice, is to do that. And even being able to do that on your own, do that with the kids, as you're bathing, being able to say, what do our feet help us do all day? What do our ankles help us do? Imagine if we didn't have ankles, like, what would that look like? So, our ankles help us in our maneuver and pivot, and our ankles help us be able to get up and down, and they help us with balance. But that is installing that gratitude practice early into kids without it feeling like a chore, because you don't want gratitude to just be one more thing that you have to check off your list of to-dos. You want it to actually be a practice that is beneficial and that you feel good doing. So it can start that early with kids when, you're giving them bath. Okay, we're gonna be grateful for our elbow tonight, and how does our elbow help us in our life? So that's an awesome thing that your yoga teacher does. What's the name of the instructor? If you want to share that, I would like to know. Sometimes it's not easy finding a yoga instructor that you feel comfortable with. It can be a little intimidating, I think, especially for people that don't have the traditional yoga body, because we're still working on it. But to be able to find a teacher that is inclusive and makes you feel love and appreciation for your body size and body type, no matter what it is. So if you want to share that teacher name, that would be awesome on YouTube. But other than that, I think we have kind of finalized it. I will share, can't search while I'm on the IG Live. Okay, that would be awesome if you want to share that with me, and I'll try to figure out how to save that on my website maybe and share that to the video. The replays are on my website now, and that's where they'll be moving forward. I decided against just putting them on the IGTV because I want folks to get to my website and look at all the other great things I got going on. So replays are there if you need to go back and listen to anything. Jen says, also a name I can't pronounce or spell correctly without help. Gotcha. Names are so important. They are so important to say them correctly. Such a part of our identity. But anywho, that's it for today. Next week, what are we talking about next week? I can't remember. I've got it up on the website. But I'll see you then. So have a great day. Thank you for tuning in. Take care. Bye.